Hello, everyone. Welcome back once again. I'm Nicodemus Kane. Today is September the 28th of 2022. I got my second consecutive YouTube strike yesterday. It has popped up once again, this time on a video that I did back in February of this year. It wasn't something recent. This is something they pulled out of the past. And I said on the last strike that I got in August, I think it was August 17th is what I just saw. But I said in August, all they have to do is just go back through any of those videos for the past 2 years where I mentioned even one thing against the COVID, and they could find a problem with it. And apparently that's what they did. They went back to, it was the video I did on Psalm 110, and they found some kind of medical misinformation. And they yanked it. And I know I've got worse, because that was only from February of this year. We were living in the new house in 2022. So they very easily could go back even further when we were living in the old house when I was running my mouth and find something. And if they did within the next 2 months, because you have to remember that the first strike doesn't even expire until November. So I'm still on the clock. Once I hit November, that falls off, and then I guess I'm back down to one strike. And then that one they said falls off in December. They said December the 26th is when that one falls off. But it doesn't really matter, I guess. I don't know. I was hurt and crushed. I really was, because I built up that YouTube channel for a while. And I know there's a lot of people that are saying once you get rid of YouTube, it's so much better. And you know what? I sat for hours glooming and dooming on the whole YouTube thing yesterday. And I eventually came to the point to where I said, you know what? I get kicked off of YouTube, I'm going to get to say whatever the hell I want. I am pretty heavily self-censoring. Simply because I'm trying to get to whatever audience I can. Even though I know I get way more views per video by going through any other platform. I understand that. But being on YouTube means that you are able to get to that many more people. I don't know how many people from YouTube are actually following me over to other platforms. For whatever reason, people just don't like switching platforms. I get that. I absolutely get that. People just don't want to even try, even though it's in their best interest. They don't want to even try. And, I completely understand that. And I am still going to try, though, to talk to those people that are still there. I still want to. Hell, I've had the YouTube channel for what, 6 years, 7 years now? 7 years now of thousands of videos. I don't know if I'm up to 2,000 videos or not. I have no clue what I'm up to anymore. But this is, I'm right on the edge at this point. And this popped up out of nowhere too. This was just like, I got in to upload the video I did yesterday, and I was surprised, absolutely surprised. I said, you've got to be kidding me with this. Let's see. It doesn't say. It doesn't say how many actual videos I have. I'm sure it does somewhere. But still, though, $46,000 views in my entire lifetime of being on the channel. Wow. But you don't have anything about... And some of these videos that are on here, definitely not the older or the newer videos, not the newer videos, but the older videos. You know, some of that video game stuff. Those are made inside of YouTube's old their old editor, which means that the only place you're ever going to get those is on YouTube. Now, I am not going to go and dig and scrub through my YouTube and try to start pulling videos. I think that's ridiculous. That's just going to be what it is. I'm going to lose it, and so what? You know. But I am. Just about through with self-censoring. I really am. I am. I am not kidding. I was going to get on here and I was going to start saying all the stuff that YouTube doesn't want me to say. But I'm going to hold back. We're going to play this out. We're going to see where it goes. Because again, I still want to have whatever audience I can get there. But if I don't have that audience, then I don't have that audience. I don't know. I don't know what happens whenever I get my channel pulled. It's sad because I have all those playlists and I have all those videos that I've found, all those liked videos. I mean, if my channel gets pulled, does that mean that I can't post content, or does that even mean I get to look at stuff? Because some of those old videos, man, or some of those videos in my liked videos and my watch later videos, that's like almost the only place you can find those anymore is by hunting them down like that. I don't know if I could start over. I really don't know if I could start over. It's a scary situation. It's a scary concept. It really is. But that's where I am right now. So for anyone that's on YouTube and is hearing this 2 weeks later, because yes, I cannot post for 2 weeks. That's why. This is why I got hit with a second strike, and it's bullshit. It really is. A lot of people will say, you know, oh well, it's their platform; they can do whatever they want. Yeah, it's that, but it's also there's a massive censorship campaign going on against all people in the world right now that is keeping us from hearing any kind of truth whatsoever. And it's amazing. I constantly hear about everybody starting to pick sides. Everybody's saying, oh, well, you know, such and such is doing this and such is doing that. Just make sure you vote. Make sure you vote for such and such, and make sure that you're there to give them support, because they're telling the truth. They're letting everybody know the truth. They're telling the truth. They're getting it out there. They're, you know, this guy really knows what they're talking about. And yet no one is really campaigning for the total truth. no one is really pushing for the total truth. Everybody is wanting to get their truth out. But nobody's going out there and telling everybody, get off YouTube, go do something else, go do BitChute, go get. Nobody's saying that. Everybody's saying, vote for me. I'll stand up for you. Vote for me. I'm the good guy, even though I'm over here, shaking hands with the very people that are going out of their way to censor you. That's absurd. It blows my mind. You're being played. You're absolutely being played on both sides. There is no one you're going to vote in that's going to change anything. You're really not. We've seen that over and over again. They have given you the worst human beings in the world, and then they've given you the worst human beings in the world to put in power, so that when it comes time for them to ask you what worse human being you want to rule over you, you will pick the person that they want, the person that they can control, the person that they can install that will just do the same things. They will just do the same things in a different way. They're playing you. This whole thing has just become one big, huge joke. And it just keeps getting worse and worse because people keep believing in the hope of man. And no, you can't hope in man. There is no man on this earth that is going to save you. I don't know how many times I gotta say that. I don't think people care anymore. I think people want their hopium, and they like their voting. They like thinking that they have some kind of control. I think it's what voting probably is. That's probably how it started out. Giving people that feeling of control, and yet you have no control. There is no reason whatsoever why they should ever give you what you want. I mean, seriously. If you follow what supposedly the Constitution of the United States of America really was, it was supposed to be a republic with no head, with no president. At best, it was supposed to be somebody that could sit during the meetings, during the congresses, and be able to say, this is what the people want. This is what the people want here. This is what the people want there. It was never meant to be about putting anybody in that ultimate power. And surely that person that was in the ultimate power was never able to have executive control of anything. And yet somewhere along the line, we started giving the president executive powers so that he can make executive orders. Your government is not there to tell you your rules. Your government is there to keep you from falling under tyrannical rules. That's what they were supposed to do. They were never meant to be a class of people that could make rules. The rules were supposed to be written by the people, ruled over by the people. The choices we make, we were supposed to hand up to them through representatives, and those representatives were supposed to vote in our favor. And then it was supposed to be enacted. It was never meant to be one person above everybody else that gets to call the shots. And yet, here we are. If you believe your own history, and I will stop after this so that we can do Isaiah 48. If you believe your own history, George Washington did not want to be president because he knew as soon as you put somebody in that position of authority that it would just become another king. He knew, according to your history, George Washington did not want to be president. But people wanted him to be president because he was a good general. He had a good head on his shoulders. He was able to make command decisions, and people respected him. So they put him in that position. And he begrudgingly took it. That's what your history says. At least that's what I was taught. I mean, who knows? It could have changed within the past 30 years. That's what I was taught, though. Is that he didn't want it. He was supposedly the best guy for the job that didn't want the job because he knew that if he took that job, he would be sullying what the Republic had become. That's what your history says. I don't even know if he's even real or not. To tell you the truth, I don't even know anymore. I don't even know anymore. You know? But that's what the history actually says, is that there was a man named George Washington that helped to supposedly found the country, who, when asked to be president, didn't want to do it because he knew that ultimate power corrupts ultimately, and that no one man should ever have that power. Yet he took it. He took the presidency. And from that point on, it became them voting for whoever they wanted to be in power. And then it snowballed from there. Now it's to the point that anybody can become president, whatever the hell they want, pretty much. Not us, of course, but, the ruling families, the ruling classes. It is amazing and I think a lot of it's for show. This whole Biden thing with him looking like a confused old man. I think a lot of that is just for show, just for us, just to, give us something else to rail against while they do the real harm, the real damage in the background. I absolutely agree with that. I think that whatever's happening, he has zero control over. He's just the puppet. He is the old man they will out there to mumble the words, to say the old things, to look like a crotchety old bastard, to look confused whenever he gets off the stage, to, all the stuff. It's just show. It's just to get you more and more pissed off. The more pissed off you get, the more anger you have in your heart, the less true discernment you're going to have over anything else in this world. And it's distracting you. It's distracting you from a lot of other stuff. So get over it. Start fighting the system. Stop laughing at the system. Because I think that's the biggest problem now, too, is that people were like, oh, look, somewhere along the line, the Republicans developed a sense of humor, and that, they can just laugh at everything. The right wing is having a great time making all these memes, and they're doing it's a distraction. Left, right, I don't care who you are. You're not fighting the problem. You're laughing at the problem, and the problem continues to grow, and you keep laughing at it. You're finding humor in laughing at it, but you're not stopping it. You need to get angry. You need to get pissed off. But you're finding humor. You're having fun with it. You're laughing at it. And humor, it has been found that whenever you put the truth inside of humor, you don't tend to remember the truth very well. You don't. That's a distraction. That's MK Ultra 101 is that you can put the truth out there, and then as long as you tell a joke at the end of it, it erases it. They've done it for years. They've done it for absolute years. Late night talk show hosts have done it for years in their opening monologues. They've given you the news, but then they'll crack a joke right at the end. They'll give you serious news, but they'll crack a joke right at the end, and then you'll forget what they said. Humor's a weapon. All these Republicans out here just having a good old time cracking up laughing, but not doing a damn thing to stop it. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. All right. Anyways, we're gonna do Isaiah 48. Give me a couple seconds. Let me. My nose is starting to run. It's like 47 degrees here. It's cold. It's like as soon as fall hits, it's just cold. I get it though. We have a hurricane down south, and they are blanketing. I saw the what is it? I can't remember the name of the radar. Supposedly the satellite, but it's not a satellite. It just shows where all the radar systems are popping. But they were showing they are blanketing the skies right now with radar signals everywhere, all along the United States. And we apparently have a Category 4 hurricane that's headed this way. But they are just absolutely blanketing the skies with radar, and it is cold. All the warm air is going down south to feed this hurricane, and it was crazy. It's I said as soon as it turned fall, it just like the temperature just changed automatically. But then I saw the radar this morning, and I was like, yep, that's it. There it is. They're feeding that hurricane as much as they can. I don't know what they're going to do with it. You got to remember, they can turn hurricanes. They can turn hurricanes on a dime. They've had that technology for a long time now. We can talk about the hurricane on 9/11 if you want to. I mean, that hurricane was heading straight for New York. And then suddenly that son of a bitch decided to take it wasn't even a 90-degree angle. It took this like 120-degree angle away from New York to go back out into the ocean. The morning of September 11th of 2001. There was a hurricane. This is a true story. You can look that stuff up. I don't remember the name of the hurricane, but there was some kind of numerology that goes along with it. I don't know. Anyways, they have the ability to be able to turn hurricanes into, they have the ability to be able to stop hurricanes, and yet you have a Category 4 hurricane that's barreling down on Florida. Maybe, just maybe, you ought to be writing your congressman and asking them, why aren't we using this technology? You know what they'll say? It doesn't exist. No, it exists. It's been there for a while. The patents have been inside of the patent office for a long time now. They can manipulate the weather. People like to laugh whenever I say that. I've said that before about people will say, these poor people out in, I don't know, Haiti, Bermuda, wherever, they got these islands that just got completely ripped apart because of, some kind of weather thing or something. Oh, these poor people. And all I can say is, it's amazing with all the weather manipulating patents that we've had in the books for 60, 70, 80 years. You'd figured we'd use those to help people instead of hurt people. Yeah. Actually, I would say, we'd use them just to help people, to stop these weather events from happening. And of course, people laugh because they just don't know. They don't want to know. They don't want to know the truth. They're out there. All you gotta do is look them up. They've had them for years. They don't even hide it. They just say, "Oh no, it's not real. It's not real. Don't worry about it." Yeah. Well, we do have weather. We do have weather systems in which we take and we experiment on the weather, but we don't make the weather. Bullshit. All right, give me a couple seconds. I will be right back. Hold on. Okay. So, Isaiah 48, how I was coming up the stairs from the kitchen this morning and I tweaked my knee and it hurts. And that's probably a pain that I'm going to have for the next 2 days. I have to put some ice on it or something. I don't know. It does not feel good right now. But that's what I get for being overweight. And actually, it's getting better. We're doing exercises. We're eating differently. We're doing a lot of good things. I don't think that it's I'm just out here just stuffing my face with all kinds of nonsense. We're eating a lot better. We're actually we are still pulling tomatoes off of her tomato plants. We harvested our potatoes. Um, Not the rich wild harvest that we thought they would be, but we got potatoes out of them. They're really good. But she is still pulling her tomatoes, which is amazing. But next year we're gonna have a bigger garden. But this was just to see if we could actually grow something. We know we can grow tomatoes. Tomatoes just grow anytime, But we actually got potatoes, and which I was like, dude, that's awesome. But we pulled them too early, I think, because you know, there were a couple of them that were still really small and growing, and we're getting better. We're learning. It's a learning experience. We were trying to grow green beans too, but they didn't turn out so well. But like I said, next year we're getting a bigger garden. We're gonna grow more things. It's gonna be fun. All right. Anyways, Isaiah 48. Hear ye this, O house of Jacob, which are called by the name of Israel, and are come forth out of the waters of Judah, which swear by the name of the Lord, and make mention of the God of Israel, but not in truth, nor in righteousness. For they call themselves of the holy city, and stay themselves upon the God of Israel. The Lord of hosts is his name. I have declared the former things from the beginning, and they went forth out of my mouth, and I showed them. I did them suddenly, and they came to pass. Because I knew that thou art obstinate, and thy neck is an iron sinew, and thy brow brass. Wow. 2 words in a row. What is that called? That's not alliteration, is it? That's whenever they sound exactly the same. I can't remember what it's called. Because I knew that thou art obstinate, and thy neck is an iron sinew, and thy brow brass. I have even from the beginning declared it to thee. Before it came to pass, I showed it thee. Lest thou shouldest say, mine idol hath done them, and my graven image, and my molten image hath commanded them. Thou hast heard, see all this, and will not ye declare it? I have shown thee new things from this time, even hidden things, and thou didst not know them. They are created now, and not from the beginning, even before the day when thou heardest them not, lest thou shouldest say, behold, I knew them. Yea, thou heardest not, yea, thou knewest not. Yea, from that time that thine ear was not opened. For I knew that thou wouldest deal very treacherously, and wast called a transgressor from the womb. Man, my tongue, bleh, treacherously, transgressor, Transgressor. I'm going to say it's my beard. That's what it is. My beard is weighting down my mouth, and my mouth is not working right. Anyways, there's a break there, so let's go back to the beginning. Hear ye this, O house of Jacob, which are called by the name of Israel, and are come forth out of the waters of Judah. So, I was listening to somebody yesterday. I had mentioned something about how there seems to be this definite break between Jacob and Israel. And I was reminded that it's not just Jacob and Israel, it's Judah and the house of Israel. Because it talks about in the end days that the house of Israel will come back, and the house of Judah will have to be regrafted back into the family, into the covenant. And this guy was saying that it will almost be like there will be a new covenant between the two. And of course, I was saying yesterday that it sounds like they're making that distinction between what Jacob was before he became Israel and then what he was afterwards. So I still don't know exactly what it is. But again, they're bringing this up now, and came forth out of the waters of Judah. They're bringing this up that there's that branching off between the two, that eventually they have to come back together, because he was talking about how Christ says he has not come. Christ did not come back for everyone. He came back for the lost sheep of Israel. But there's also references to the lost sheep of Judah too. Like they broke away, and he has to gather them all back in. Now, I'm sure there's people screaming at me right now that are listening that are like, oh, no, that's this and this and that and this. And yes, I'm glad you know that. I'm glad you know that right off the top of your head. I don't know that right off the top of my head. I'm not the perfect Bible scholar. I'm just reading this and interpreting it the way that I can for what I have. I'm not perfect. I never claim to be perfect. You're not coming here to get, the fullest meat of the word. You're coming here to listen to some guy that happens to own a Bible and a laptop try to get the word out, because this is what God commanded him to do. So it is what it is. I'm just putting that out there. Something to look up for yourself. Something to go looking for. Something that I need to figure out for myself as well. It's what we're all here learning. We're all here trying to figure this out. And really, I don't want to have a perfect Bible teacher coming up to me and telling me, well, this is this and this is that, because really, that's just your interpretation. That's the interpretation of somebody that told you how to interpret it. Is what it is. And we need to be able to take all of the interpretations and figure out what it is through the discernment that God gives us. I think that's the better way to do it. If we just took the word of man just straight off the top, we're doing a disservice to ourselves and to God, because man can be manipulated. We need to have the whole truth. We need to hear the message from everywhere and then ask the Father, help us sort this out. Help us figure this out. Anyways, it doesn't mean I'm not looking for knowledge. It just means that I don't want just one source. I want to have multiple sources. I want to have multiple understandings. I want to be able to take it all and then say, okay, well, this means this, and this. God, point me in the right direction. Show me the way to go. And there are so many people out there that Myself included. I'm just as bad at it. There are so many people out there that just want to say, well, this means this because this says this, and there you go. You're done. I'm just as guilty of it. And just because a book says it, just because it's somewhere, doesn't mean it's true. You have to take information from different places, put it together, figure it out. I'll quit babbling on about that. Out of the waters of Judah, which swear by the name of the Lord, and make mention of the God of Israel, but not in truth, nor in righteousness. They swear by the name of the Lord and make mention of the God of Israel, but they do it not in truth nor in righteousness. For they call themselves of the holy city, and stay themselves upon the God of Israel. The Lord of hosts is his name. I have declared the former things from the beginning. No, wait. For they call themselves of the holy city, and stay themselves upon the God of Israel. These are the people that they swear by the name, but they don't swear it in truth. They call themselves the people of the holy city, but not in truth and not in righteousness. Could this be the people that call themselves Jews but are not, but are the synagogue of Satan? I don't know. Maybe. You got to remember, we're still talking about the end time stuff here. Just throwing that out there. I have declared the former things from the beginning, and they went forth out of my mouth, and I showed them. I did them suddenly, and they came to pass. Which is what he has said, which is what God has said before, is that he has declared the end from the beginning. And then he did them. He showed them first. He said, I am going to show you what I'm going to do. And then he did them suddenly. He did them within a day. It said that in 47 somewhere, is that it came on them as if it were a day. It also says that in Revelations 2. We looked that up yesterday as well. Revelation 18. I think it's what it was. Yeah. Because I knew that thou art obstinate, and thy neck is an iron sinew, and thy brow brass. I have even from the beginning declared it to thee. Before it came to pass, I showed it to thee, lest thou shouldest say, mine idol hath done them, and my graven image, and my molten image hath commanded them. I told you it was going to be like this before it came to pass, because I don't want you to think that it came to pass and then you're going to say, oh, it was my statue of my whatever that did this. It was my false gods that did this. Thou hast heard, see all this, and will not ye declare it? I have shown thee new things from this time, even hidden things, and thou didst not know them. He showed you the truth. He showed you the truth, but you did not have the eyes to see it. You did not have the ears to hear it. And not only that, you didn't declare a single word of it. You sat on your hands. You knew that it was there, but you did not warn anybody. And of course, the Bible says that for anyone that sees the truth, knows what is coming, and does not declare it to his fellow men, God will have to take his blood for the blood that is spilled of the people that he could have warned. For the people that weren't warned, that didn't know. You had the chance to declare it, and you didn't. They are created now, and not from the beginning. The things that, he's doing. They are created now, and not from the beginning. Even before the day when thou heardest them not, lest thou shouldest say, behold, I knew them. They were created before you were even born. Yea, thou heardest not, yea, thou knewest not. Yea, from that time that thine ear was not opened. For I knew that thou wouldest deal very treacherously, and was called a transgressor from the womb. He knew you before you were born. God knew ye before you were born because he has seen the end from the beginning. He knows the number of hairs on your head. Which I love that quote. I love that quote because I like to think how many am I going to have by the end? Because they keep falling out. But he knew you before you were born. He knew the way that you were going to go. He knew that I was going to go through all of my life, everything I ever went through in my entire life, so that somewhere along the line, I got turned around to this. And it blows my mind. He knew the right place in order to let the information come to me so that I could be turned and changed. Like I never would have even imagined in a million years this is where I'd be at 45. Talking about this stuff, going through this stuff. I never thought about it. But he knew just the right place to put the right little piece of information in front of my face and say, there you go. And I've taken it from there and I've ran with it. And that's, again, part of the reason why I started doing all of this, is that maybe, just maybe, I can have that one little piece of information that somebody needs to hear, that all God has to do for somebody else is say, there you go. Listen to this guy. This guy will tell you that one thing that you need to hear so that you can change your mind and become something better. Of course, that's pretty much all I've ever prayed for, is that I can help somebody else the way that I was helped. So that's why we're here. That's why we're doing this. But that is, he knew from before you were even born. Because if you would have known back then, before they came to pass, you would have dealt treacherously with it. You would have gone to everybody and said, look, the world is ending. If you pay me money, you'll make it through. I'll get you better seats. But he didn't want you to know that. You didn't hear it because he didn't want you to hear it, because he knew you'd deal treacherously. For those that would deal righteously, for those that would warn people by saying, look, there's something bad coming, you should get yourself right with God. Those are the people those are the people he has warning you. And sadly, a lot of those people are having their voices cut off and they can't be heard. Sounds familiar. sounds familiar to me. Sadly, I'm doing my damnedest to try to warn people, and I can't, because medical misinformation. Verse 9. For my name's sake will I defer mine anger, and for my praise will I refrain for thee, that I cut thee not off. Behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. For mine own sake, even for mine own sake will I do it. For how should my name be polluted? And I will not give my glory unto another. All right, that stops there again on 12. For my name's sake will I defer mine anger, and for my praise will I refrain for thee, that I cut thee not off. So I'm not going to cut you off just yet for my own name's sake. Because if I cut you off now, then I wouldn't be any better than all of these other gods that are out there. Behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. Now, let me try that another way. It says in Revelations that those that make it through the tribulation, those that make it through without giving themselves over to the mark of the beast, for those that do not accept the evil of this world and try to save their lives, for those that it says, for those that try to save their lives will surely lose it, those that whatever it is, I don't remember exactly what it is. Anyways, though, it says for those that don't take the mark of the beast, they will make it through. And I've talked about this before. There's a lot of people, they say, oh, well, it's okay to take this. It's okay to do that. It's okay to, do whatever. I continually say there are a group of people that will earn their righteousness. They will earn their peace by making it through, by not taking the mark of the beast. A lot of people say that the mark of the beast is something like Sunday worship, or it's some kind of a mental thing. It's an action that you do or whatever. Yet the Bible clearly states that there are going to be people that are going to make it through the tribulation that have not fallen for whatever's coming and are saved because of it. So make of that as you will, but there are people out there right now that are seriously talking and saying it's okay for you to take the mark of the beast as long as you don't worship the beast that comes with it. There are people saying that right now. You have to do two things. You have to take the mark and you have to worship at the feet of the beast. That's what you have to do. But that's not what the Bible says. The Bible says those that do not take it, they do not fall for it, they do not go with it, they will be saved. So there has to be a differentiation. There has to be a line drawn here. You have to understand that no, you can't take it. You have to divorce yourself completely from it. I think it's why the Bible says, come out of Babylon, so that you don't have to deal with her plagues. Because eventually, you're going to have to make the choice of whether you're going to go through your entire life knowing that you will have nothing, that you will have to rely completely and totally on God to provide for you, or you sell yourself out. You take whatever it is that they take, and I think the simple act of taking whatever it is worship. I think that that's going to be part of it. So you have to be careful. You have to be careful. You have to listen to these things and understand what it's saying here. It's not just about just saying, well, I'll just go with it just a little bit. No, I think once you buy into that, you're pretty much in it. And I think it's a very spiritual problem that a lot of people, I don't think a lot of people are really contemplating, understanding, really getting through their head. But I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. You have made it through affliction. So I have chosen you. For mine own sake, even for mine own sake will I do it. For how should my name be polluted? And I will not give my glory unto another. It's another one of those things. Is why does God let people suffer? Why doesn't God do anything? Why doesn't God stop the evil people of this world from doing what they do? He doesn't do it because if he did, if he were to kill all of the evil people in the world, just take them away, he would be taking away their ability to make their choice. He would not be any better than any of the other lower G gods that are out there. It sounds messed up on the surface because people will say, well, why does he have to do it then? You know, my such and such was killed because of this, or my such and such was killed because of that, or whatever. And I've said this before, is how do you know they're not in a better place right now? How do you know they're not inheriting their own part of the kingdom of heaven because they were killed? Because they were hurt like that? Yeah, evil men are going to do evil things. God lets them do evil things because he wants to give them the ability to make up their own right. Not only that, he is tempering you through affliction. That's what it just says right here. He's refining you through affliction. You're not to worry about this world. Things of this world will pass. It is the next world that you are worried about, because you have disobeyed his laws. You have not followed in his ways. You have decided that you don't need him. So he will send these things upon you. But who says that just because your whatever was hurt or killed, who says that they're not inheriting their own part of the kingdom of heaven? Maybe that was to get you to start understanding that there is something better, that you need to start praying to God that you'll be able to see them again. It's one thing people don't like to talk about, because whenever somebody dies and somebody loses somebody else, you know, you want to find somebody to blame. You know, nobody. I've met a few people who have lost somebody tragically, you know, and they have it's been a few people, but they did not let their feelings completely override them. They logically and rationally came to the process, to the understanding, to the idea that such and such is dead, that my life goes on, and that in order for me to be able to either see them again or to be able to love them again, that I need to become better. I've seen that. I've seen people do that. I've seen people change on a dime. I've seen people that have lost the worst people in the world. You know, people they absolutely hated, despised. People that they used to say, I wish you were dead. As soon as they died, these people, they made the change and were like, I am so sorry I ever wished for it. I am so sorry that I ever made it this way. How can I ever be forgiven? And their entire lives changed because of it. Death hurts. I get that. And people suffer a lot. And people get killed by other people. I understand that too. Sometimes for no reason whatsoever. I've lost people myself. And I didn't understand it. Didn't understand it at all. It took me a long time to figure it out. I blame myself, actually. Blame myself because other people died. And I found out that there had to have been a reason. Just because you don't understand it now doesn't mean that it's not going to all completely make sense down the line. There's way more to this world than you can ever understand. I have talked about the spiritual rules of this world and how we can't even fathom what's going on, but they're there. So you have to have that faith, have that trust, have that understanding that there's something more to it. Something else is coming. Something else is happening. There are reasons. God wants you to be able to, He wants you to know there are reasons beyond your ability to understand. He wants you to know that there is a better place for you to go when you die. You don't have to listen to the lies of this world whenever they tell you that you're nothing and your life is meaningless. That when you die, you simply die. Or that you don't need to listen to the people when they just tell you that, oh, when you die, you're going to go to hell. Or even worse, you're going to die and you're going to be reincarnated back into this world. I don't want to come back to this world. Who the hell wants to come back to this world? Seriously? Ugh. It's terrible. You don't have to believe that. You are something special. You are something better than this. The people that you love and care for are something better than this. Those people out there that are murdering and hurting and destroying other people, they can be better than this. But they choose not to be. So it's up to you to be better and to try to help others be better. Warn them. Tell them. Let them know. Let them know that it's not like this, that it's all been a lie, that you've been manipulated into being like this. I was just thinking about that this morning, is that I really, truly, truly wish, beyond any ability whatsoever, that we could just get the people to just understand that they are so much better than this world. They can be better. We can change. But the majority of people won't, because they are, well, what is it? Where is it at? Where did it say it was? That they were stiff-necked, and thy neck is an iron sinew and thy brow is brass, because he knows that they are obstinate. He knows that they just won't listen. That they were like that since the beginning. So that's why he has to close their eyes. If he told them the truth, if he let all of this out, this is why a lot of it's in parables. We've talked about this too. If he let every single bit of the truth out, then the evil ones of this world would take the book, take what they knew was happening, and they would turn it treacherously against the people of the world. And we see that now. We see people that are taking the word, going out of their way to harm and hurt people. We've seen it a lot over the past 100 years. TV evangelists, rapture enthusiasts, oh, the world is coming to an end. Oh, this is happening. This is coming. This is, Christ says you need to give me money so that we can buy a spaceship so that we can fly off of this world before it all goes to hell. Things like that, It makes me think of Metallica's Leper Messiah. Pay a better price and get a better seat. It's the same concept. Because they knew, because they know the book. They know the book. They understand it. They understand what we see in it. So they use it treacherously to their own ends, and it enslaves people. It hurts people and destroys people. That's why you have to do your own diligence. You have to ask for your own discernment from God. I need to quit going on about that. We need to keep going because we got some more to go. Verse 12. Hearken unto me, O Jacob and Israel, my called. I am he. I am the first. I also am the last. Mine hand also hath laid the foundation of the earth, and my right hand hath spanned the heavens. When I called unto them, they stand up together. When I call unto them, they stand up together. All ye assemble yourselves, and hear. Which among them hath declared these things? The Lord hath loved him. He will do his pleasure on Babylon, and his arm shall be on the Chaldeans. I, even I, have spoken. Yea, I have called him. I have brought him, and he shall make his way prosperous. All right, let's go back. Verse 12. Hearken unto me, O Jacob and Israel, my called. I am he, I am the first, I am also the last. He is the I am, he is that he is. Mine hand also hath laid the foundation of the earth, and my right hand hath spanned the heavens. When I call unto them, they stand up together. When he calls the heavens, they stand up together. Which lends credence to the whole thing about the watchers in the sky, the angels in the sky that watch over you. Somebody on Twitter posted it was a really short GIF of the three types of angels that you hear described in the Bible. The one where it was like a giant eyeball that had like 6 wings on either side of it, and each of the wings had eyes. And there was another one that had like 8 wings. You know, it was like it had kind of like the head of a human, but then it had like wings. And then the third one was it was the circle within a circle within a circle, and each one of the circle had eyes all the way around it with an eye in the middle of it. The watchers, the angels. There's like 3. Those are the 3 classes of angels. That's the absolute description that's in the Bible of what these things look like, and they look weird and freaky. And I've always wanted to have somebody draw them out as, you know, absolutely as they are described in the Bible. And that was probably the best I had ever seen. I don't remember where it was from, but I just remember somebody had it, and I was mesmerized by it because I was trying to figure out, because one of them says it's an angel that had 6 wings. 2 wings that covered its legs, 2 wings that covered its body, and then just 2 wings in the back. But each wing they all had eyeballs all over it. There was like other stuff floating around them, or I don't remember exactly what it was. But then there's the circles within a circle within a circle. They all had eyes on each one of the circle had eyes floating around it. And I said, well, I thought it was weird that I'm trying to figure out a way to say this. I kind of forgot my original thought. That the watchers in the sky, that they're angels in the sky, and if these are the angels that are in the sky, they sing out the songs of heaven, or they sing out the songs of God constantly. It's what the Bible says. Is that they take their places in the sky, and they sing and they worship him. And when he calls them to stop or to do whatever it is they need to do, when he needs them to go wherever they need to go, they go. It was those that chose not to take their place in heaven. Those that fell, those are the ones that he locked up because they chose not to listen to him. When he calls unto them, His right hand spanned out to heaven. When he calls unto them, they stand up together. That's what that makes me think of. Not just, spreading out the foundation of the earth or spanning out the heavens. That also makes me think of the watchers in the sky, the angels in the sky that take their place in heaven. They cannot move. All ye assemble yourselves and hear, which among them hath declared these things? Which among them have declared these things? Which among the heavens? Which angels among them have declared these things? The Lord hath loved him. He will do his pleasure on Babylon, and his arm shall be on the Chaldeans. I, even I, have spoken, yea, I have called him. I have brought him, and he shall make his way prosperous. Who could we be talking about? Verse 16, come ye near unto me, hear ye this. I have not spoken in secret from the beginning. From the time that it was, there am I. And now the Lord God and his Spirit hath sent me. Thus saith the Lord thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, I am the Lord thy God, which teacheth thee to profit, which leadeth thee by the way that thou shouldest go. Oh, that thou hadst hearkened to my... Let's try this again. Verse 18. Oh, that thou hadst hearkened to my commandments. Then had thy peace been as a river, and thy righteousness as the waves of the sea. Thy seed also had been as the sand, and the offspring of thy bowels like the gravel thereof. His name should not have been cut off, nor destroyed from before me. All right, going back up to 16. My knee is hurting again. Come ye near unto me, hear ye this. I have not spoken in secret from the beginning. God has not spoken in secret from the beginning. He keeps things from man so that man cannot profit from them. But he has not spoken in secret. When God speaks to men, it is put out there. There is still it is a spiritual rule that everything that comes to pass has to be foretold in some way, shape, or form. I don't know why, but it's just a spiritual rule. You see it. That's why they have to tell us everything that they do. From the time that it was, there am I, and now the Lord God and his Spirit hath sent me. Thus saith the Lord thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, I am the Lord thy God, which teacheth thee to profit, which leadeth thee by the way that thou shouldest go. He teaches thee to profit. He leadeth thee by the way that thou shouldst go. You should probably follow him. Oh, that thou hast hearkened to my commandments. Then had thy peace been as a river, and thy righteousness as the waves of the sea. If you only would have just listened, you could have had peace. Thy seed also had been as the sand, and the offspring of thy bowels like the gravel thereof. His name should not have been cut off nor destroyed from before me. If only you would have listened to what I had said, you would have had peace, you would have had righteousness, you would have had a beautiful family, beautiful children, and your name would never have been cut off or destroyed. The older I get, the more I understand that because I never had kids. I've never had kids. I've had I've had kids that I've called my own because I lived with their mother long enough, but I don't have kids of my own. We have grandkids only upon the basis that my wife's daughter lets me have a grandkid. But I understand now that I'm so old that I can't have any kids, that there's something that gets lost there. You know, I if I would have only been taught better from the beginning, that I could have had that amazing ability to have children. Child that I could have been able to take and pass on, and, they would take something with them that was of me. I understand that now. I get that. How beautiful must it be to follow God, to have his peace, have his righteousness, and then have all the children around you that you were able to love and watch grow up, teach them the ways, teach them the best ways so that they can be better as they grow up, so that they can teach others. It's got to be the most amazing thing in the world. I will never get to have that. Not at this point. And I'm making my peace with that as best I can, but you have to understand it hurts. It really does hurt. Verse 20. This should be the end of it. Go ye forth of Babylon, flee ye from the Chaldeans. With a voice of singing declare ye, tell this, utter it even to the end of the earth. Say ye, the Lord hath redeemed his servant Jacob. And they thirsted not when he led them through the deserts. He caused the waters to flow out of the rock for them. I don't know why I paused there. He clave the rock also, and the waters gushed out. There is no peace, saith the Lord, unto the wicked. There ain't no rest for the wicked. Let's go back to verse 20. Go ye forth of Babylon, flee ye from the Chaldeans, get out of Babylon. With a voice of singing declare ye, tell this, utter it even to the end of the earth. Say ye, the Lord hath redeemed his servant Jacob, but not his chosen Israel. Think about that for a second. And they thirsted not when he led them through the deserts. He caused the waters to flow out of the rock for them. He clave the rock also, and the waters gushed out. He will not let you go hungry. He will not let you be thirsty. He, according to the Bible, he kept their sandals and their clothes from wearing thin. These people had the same clothes through the wilderness for 40 years. I can't even keep a t-shirt for more than 2. He kept their clothes for 40 years while they were in the desert, or while they were in the wilderness. And that's something to think about. That's really something they don't tell you, but it's in there. It's amazing. There is no peace, saith the Lord, unto the wicked. No, there's not. How does that work? Well, okay. If you follow the commandments, follow the laws, follow the rules, you don't have strife or hatred. You have love and comfort. It is evil which makes all of those things happen. Envy, hatred. What the hell is hate? Envy, hatred, lust, desires. All of these things lead to evil. You lust for something. You want to have that thing. You find out you can't have that thing. So you do everything in your power to be able to get that thing. If you still can't have that thing, then you start thinking about bad ways of getting that thing. When trying to think of a good way to put it. When you just let just let it happen. I mean, when you deal in love and you deal with peace with people, and you have peace, and you keep your life to yourself. You don't try to push on others. You don't try to covet anything. You're happy where you are. You have honor and respect and discipline. You don't get like that. You don't get angry and filled with hate and rage, and you want to hurt somebody and destroy it, and that stuff snowballs. That's what the commandments tell you, is to not be filled with hate and rage, to be at peace with yourself, be at peace with life. Do unto others as you would want done unto you. Help your brother and sister. Help each other. Build each other up instead of tearing each other down. But that not following the word, not following the commandments, snowballs. We've talked about evil snowballing over and over again. I've talked about this. It constantly ramps up until you want more and more and more, and it gets worse and worse and worse. I had that confirmed. I was watching a video about Hugh Hefner and Playboy, talking about how much of a perverted animal Hugh Hefner became towards the end. That it started out as simply, showing porn, showing naked ladies. And it eventually got to the point where they had some of the most vile and sick things going on in the mansion that you could ever think of. They were talking about bestiality, and they were talking about snuff films. They were talking about, these wild and crazy orgies. And it happens like that. It keeps getting worse and getting worse and getting worse, to the point that you can't control it and that you need it constantly. They were saying I know I had seen this documentary before on TV somewhere, but they were talking about how it just became like a chore for Hugh Hefner. It was, he would sit there in a room with 10 girls, and they would have gay porn playing in the background, or worse, while all these girls, he just laid there and they just took turns. It's like, what? I mean, it's, there's nothing to it. There's no kind of intimacy or love or anything to that. It's just, and it kept snowballing. It kept getting worse from there as he kept asking for more things, more vile and wicked things, to the point that, people started getting hurt. I'm sure there was probably worse than that too, but then, they started talking about pulling out the snuff films. It's like, this is what I say though, is that it never stops. Evil never stops. It wants more and more and more. A lot of people don't like hearing it, but they asked for gay marriages. Now they're asking for lower consent ages. I'm not lying. It started in one place, and now your children are being told that they can do, and they're being told that they can masturbate whenever they are 5 years old, and that there are some places they are trying to normalize pedophiles, calling them MAPS. What is it? Mature That's what it is. Minor attracted persons. This is what people have been warning for the past 15 years, 20 years, is that it would get this bad because people know that evil snowballs. I was watching something the other day. They were talking about I don't know if it was the same woman or not that was talking about the voting rights. I think I talked about it in a video last time. Women having given the ability to have voting rights, it was interesting why women didn't have them before, because they were taken away. Why? It's because it snowballed. It snowballed to a point to where they couldn't control it. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not trying to put anything in anybody's heads. I just think that, it's interesting stuff. Certain people that roam around in the world that everybody hates, the people that you can't talk about. Nobody ever asks questions, well, what did they do to become so hated? Nobody ever asks that question. It's always, oh, you can't put them out because they've been hurt for their entire existence. Yeah, but why? Why have these people been kicked out of every country ever? Is there something going on? Does it snowball if they get into power? Can we talk about America for a second? Just saying, just putting that out there. Evil corrupts. Evil corrupts absolutely. It's just a little sliver gets in and the whole thing goes to hell. And it just grows and grows and grows. And there is no peace for the wicked. For those that walk in righteousness, those that walk in the commandments, they find peace. They find happiness. They find the ability to be able to walk in comfort. God puts a wall around them, protects them, loves them, keeps them in his arms, gives them food, gives them shelter, gives them water, clothing, because he wants his sheep, his people, to be happy. It's what he does. For everybody else, you're never going to be comforted. There is no peace for you. You will always want more and more evil. It's a good lesson. It's a good lesson to stop on. All 1 hour and 23 minutes of it. All right. So that's enough. That's enough of that. I will see you all tomorrow. What is today? Is today Wednesday? Wow. Man. Yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow, and we'll keep going. It's like I said, once I get kicked off of YouTube, if it happens, the gloves are coming off. I have been tiptoeing around saying what's on my mind for a while now. And again, I'm surprised that half of my videos haven't got hit worse. I'm surprised. But I am so tired of this tiptoeing around everything that I get kicked off of YouTube. We're going to start talking about stuff. We're going to start talking about some legit stuff. Maybe it'll be a good thing. Who knows? Maybe, I don't know. All right. I will see you all later. God bless everyone of you. Take care of yourselves. Start spreading the message, telling the truth. If you have to use anything that I said to say it, feel free. Say it. Tell them. Tell the people. Tell them they're never going to be satisfied by following the way of this world. Tell them there's a better way. All right. I shall talk to y'all later.